You know who it is. Hi. Man, it feels weird not to say it. I gotta say it. I can't not say deconverted man here. Okay, I said it there. All right. Oh, it was like, oh, I didn't say it. Something will happen. Like the universe will implode if I don't say the thing. Okay. Anyway, so Res. Yes, good old Res Vero. Uh, yeah. So the aftermath of our talk, I emailed him. I'm going to read to you my email to him. I'm not going to show the email because I don't want to give his email away. Uh, and since I'm telling you who it is and all that. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to read my email to you and then his response to that, and then talk to you about what I think about all this and hey, Math Pig, yes, the God eating monster is loose. No, Math Pig. After, like I just said last hangout, I know you weren't here for it. By the way, you probably, if you want a little bit of entertainment, you'll want to check that out. The theist runs away and rage quits. After that, I talked to a good friend of mine. So if you want to be done after that, then you can end the video. But anyways, you might enjoy that, Math Pig. If you want to talk in here, we can. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Well, I mean, it does matter to me. If you want to talk, then that matters. What I mean is, I don't know what I mean. Anyways, all right. It won't interrupt what I'm doing. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. I love you, Math Pig. Don't eat me. Wait, what? I don't know. Wait, do I love Math Pig? I don't know. I like Math Pig. I don't think I know him well enough to love him. All right, man, I'm on it. Good. All this can be edited. All right, time to read what I wrote this guy. All right. After our talk, I wrote him, I hope you read the attached and explore informal logic. You have quite the way to go and much to learn. May logic, reason, and science guide you always. Best you and yours. And I attached a informal logic book for him. His response was quite interesting. He said, I don't listen to science deniers. You denied the well known facts about dark matter, which proves you know so little about science and reality in general that there's no point in listening to you. You are an obnoxious prick, and all that you have convinced me of is the fact that all atheists are morons. I will learn and master informal and formal logic, but I will learn it from the masters in the fields like Aristotle, not from some coward who is too afraid to hold a world view. Yikes. Did I run over his cat? I think he might be a little bit upset that I made him uphold the burden of proof. Now, to recap, he did not even know how to look up a peer reviewed paper. I had to tell him about Google Scholar. Obviously, he picked a paper that he thought would support his assertion, which, to remind you, was that 70% of cosmologists, or some number like that, 60, 70, I don't recall exactly. I think it was 70. I don't recall the exact number. So, large percentage of cosmologists all have an agreement that dark matter is part of the standard cosmological model. Well, wanted him to prove his assertion. Give me a peer reviewed paper that says that. Oh, I don't have that. I know you don't have that. You're going to have to find it. How do I find it? Use Google Scholar. So he's like, oh, it's the sixth one down. And I'm like, okay, well, there's the abstract. So you've read this paper? Of course, he hasn't read the paper. He didn't even know how to get to the paper. He doesn't know what the paper says. He has no idea. He just thinks it supports the thing. Doesn't. Before that, of course, he gave me a link to NASA, which also didn't support his assertion, and nowhere there did it support the idea that 70% of cosmologists agree. Now, it could be the case that a number of cosmologists have this view, but that's not the point. The point is, if you make a claim, you need to back it up. And if you can't back it up, maybe you shouldn't make the claim. Or upon realizing that you've made an improper claim, retract it. Say, okay, you know what? I misspoke. And what he did, of course, is appeal to meaningless statistics by saying 70%, you know. And dark matter is still debated. I found some papers that they were saying here's an alternative to dark matter. We don't need it if we do this and this, and so I can't find any percentage of cosmologists that agree with X, Y, or Z at all. So if anyone knows where you could find something like that, that'd be interesting. But I don't know of any survey like that. Um, there are many articles about dark matter and many peer-reviewed papers on dark matter, but that doesn't tell me how many people think that that's the case, or if it is the standard model, or whatever. I don't have any idea, but none of that matters because I wasn't denying any of that. I was making him uphold the burden of proof. You said something, now you're going to need to prove it. Now, after that email there, where he said, I don't listen to science deniers, I said, I have to find it. I said, I never denied anything about science. I wanted you to prove the assertion you made when you said that percentage of cosmologists all agree upon dark matter being needed for the current cosmological model. The behavior of a single person cannot and should not paint the rest in the same way. Example, I mentioned as a dig that there was, and still are, pedophiles in the Catholic Church. I was going to give a citation there, but I forgot to. Oh well. And you pointed out that to paint everyone in that light was bigoted or something to that effect. I can't recall the exact wording he selected. And that's true. Of course, it was a dig, a jab, and that one, perhaps you'll learn to let it slide over you as you gain maturity. So, even if I am indeed obnoxious, that does not mean that other atheists are also that, nor does it, me being a moron, mean that all atheists are morons. Of course, you would and will understand that if and when you learn informal logic. Aristotle's a good start, but it's not a full understanding of the current mechanics of informal logic. For that, you'll need a book, like the one I sent you, that covers the subject. As far as me holding or having a worldview, you never even bothered to ask if I did or did not. Also, me being a coward, even if true, would not negate anything I said. These ad hominems are not something you should use when dealing with anyone. Ask yourself, would Jesus insult someone like this? Are you being a good or bad ambassador for Jesus? I hope you're able to rethink your approach that you took in our talk and our email exchange, and I suspect you will grow out of most of this. Perhaps share your conversation with your parents or someone at church to see what they have to say about your behavior and how you came at this. Last but not least, I hold no ill will towards you and hope that you will learn and grow into a human that offers a lot of wonderful ideas into this world. Best to you and yours always. Now, let's play a multiple choice, dear viewers. Do you think that A, he responded kindly to that? Do you think B, he doubled down and went complete rage mode? Or C, none of the above? Pick your choice. All right. Oh, math has at work, or he would join me. Okay, fair enough. Okay. All right, you've picked your choice by now. Math picks at work, so you probably can't pick A, B, or C. And the answer is you are a science-denying bigot, coward, who is too afraid to even be a naturalist. You can't give me anything worthwhile in principle because you have nothing at all. You are a fool of fools whose doesn't even know what essence is. Whose? Yes, whose. Let me just go ahead and paste exactly what he typed there so we can see what he said. Whose, apostrophe, doesn't even know what essence is. Yes, indeed. I don't know what essence is, by the way, this refers to. I do actually know what essence is, but well, it depends. There's like 3 different definitions of essence. You need some context to know what you mean. It's a perfume. It's a magazine. It's a product of beauty line. Yeah. But it's a poetic word. It can have lots of meanings. But his quote, not enough quotes in the universe, quote, non-argument that he gave. I'm not even going to call it an argument. It doesn't deserve it. That it contained the word essence, and I was trying to get him to give me the argument so I could type it out, but he was cutting out very badly. Anyways, so that's where that comes in. Anyways, you are also the most retarded person on earth. Wow. Man. Cool. From nothing, nothing follows. You have nothing, and you are nothing but a condescending moron. Wow. Man. Anyway, so my response to that was simply a bunch of Bible quotes. Because I thought, he needs to read his Bible. So I just sent him Bible verses. Matthew 5:43 to 48. You've heard it said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. You may be the sons of your Father who's in heaven. 1 Peter 3:9 through 17. Don't be hateful and insult people just because they're hateful insult you. Instead, treat everyone with kindness. You're God's chosen ones, and he will bless you. Proverbs 20:22. Say not thou, I will concise evil, but wait on the Lord, and he shall save thee. 1 Thessalonians 5:15. Make sure that nobody pays back wrong for wrong, but always strive to do what's good for each other and for everyone else. Peter 3:8 through 10. Finally, be of you one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, not rendering evil for evil, or railing for railing, but contrarious blessing. Know that you are called to the inherent blessing, etc., etc. Romans 12:17. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. Luke 6:27. I say to you who are listening, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. And Romans 12:14. Bless them which persecute you, bless and curse not. I think that proves pretty much that from a Christian perspective, he's not doing very good as a Christian. Now, I'm a skeptic. Doesn't matter to me. But I think that maybe, just maybe, hopefully, if he doesn't want to listen to me, and that's fine, I don't care, maybe he'll listen to his God. But what's interesting, and why I wanted to talk about this, was I have found it to be that too many Christians do not live by what the Bible says to do. Now, I'm glad for certain parts because it's kind of messed up, but they don't adopt the behaviors they're told. And I've heard Christians say, well, I'm a sinner. I mean, I'm not perfect, so it's okay. And justify their being a jerk. I've heard them do this. In my community session, I said, Darth Dawkins is this very obnoxious guy. Pine Creek kept saying to him, "I want to talk about Jesus," and he's like, "You're trying to derail the conversation." Like, yes, and he's like, "Yes, I fully admit I'm derailing the conversation. Let's talk about Jesus." And Darth Dawkins didn't want to talk about Jesus. I'm like, I don't think you're a very good Christian at that point. And well, he's not. He wants to be right. That's people that are pre-subs typically really just want to be right. They don't want to have a debate or a conversation. They just want to be right. That's why they're in pre-sub, broadly speaking. But I find it interesting. Now, atheists don't have a Bible. We don't have a thing that when we misbehave to each other, we can't slam a verse at each other to say, here, you're not doing things the right way. This is how to do it. So it's far more complicated for the skeptic, atheist, agnostic, non-believer, non-religious person to correct or try to correct the errors of somebody else. And I've seen the worst of this and the best of this and everywhere in between. There are ways and ways to pull someone to the side and try to, you know, let them know what you have observed and your viewpoint on what happened and why maybe they should modify their behavior. And I think that can be done in private, probably should be attempted in private before, doing it in public. I think that one-on-one is usually the best way to go about it. But there is no guideline, and that makes it more difficult. There is no thing that says here's how to behave. We have to derive that from our ethical system. And many people I've found don't know what their ethical system is. There's a number of them you can select from. You can combine a number of them. They kind of have a loose view of ethics or something like that. And I guess if it works, it's okay. And then the morals aim towards the goal of the ethics. So, well, in order to correct somebody or try to correct someone, I have to know their ethics now. That's, oh man. So, but you can tell when people are misbehaving. You can tell when you've misbehaved to some degree because people are getting irritated and upset. But people can get irritated and upset for all sorts of reasons. So, what do you do about that? How do you handle that? What do you do? And I do think that here's where I'll give some credit to the Bible because they had some things right. Because we've had this idea throughout humanity, not just in the Bible, because they got it from somewhere else, but that love is better than hate. That yeah, you can punch somebody in the face, and that will knock them down. Probably that will injure them, but will it change them? And think about this. If you insult somebody, you find yourself insulting people, ask yourself when the last time was that you called somebody a name and they changed their behavior after that. Has that ever worked at all? And if you can't think of an example, then maybe insulting people isn't a viable methodology to get somebody to change their view. Now, sometimes we get mad, of course, we insult each other, and it happens, And all we can do is apologize and try to correct our behavior. Sometimes the thing that we say is something that we think is true. And people mob mentality attack us for that. And we say, okay, that's fine. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to interact with me. I don't care. What's your argument? Because I'll go straight to the logic route. And maybe that's the way out. Is if you find yourself mired in emotion, to apply logic and reasoning to yourself, to others in the situation at hand. It's not easy, but it can be done. I think it can be done. And I think for conversation, it must be done. We have to try to get people to adhere to the burden of proof. When somebody makes a claim, we need to call them out and say, what do you have to back that up? If it's important. Minor claims, I ate dinner last night. Who cares? We can, scale that and perhaps it might do some good to map that out, but of course then we all have to agree upon which map to use, and now okay, now we're back to square one, right? I don't know how I got to this area, but I'm here now. Anyways, so I'm not going to say anything more to him. I'm sure he's going to email me and insult me again because he probably wants to have the last word, and I'll just ignore it and let it be. It's the only way to go. I'm not going to feed the troll. But when I look at myself and I think about my own self and how I can get angry because I have anger management control problems, although I've gotten a lot better, I think. Um, why I fly off the hook and what sense does that make and what I can do about it. And man, I've killed my reputation, and I'm sure there's people that want nothing to do with me. I'm absolutely sure about that. uh and you can't, not everybody's gonna like you, not everybody's gonna be around you, not everybody's gonna agree. uh that's humanity, right? Yeah, I already read the emails, Yin Yang. Sorry, you're gonna have to go back and listen if you want. Praise Cthulhu, Nerdy wrote it. Yes, great Cthulhu. Any rate, so I think that we can forgive ourselves, we should forgive others. And it's like, look, I can't change what I've done. All I can do is from this point moving forward is try to do better. Anyways, I don't know. Got off into that tangent, I suppose, and leave it there. And hopefully it causes some discussion amongst you in comments or in future videos or what have you. And thanks for listening and watching and doing all that stuff, and doing the things and the things of the things. Take care. May reason and logic guide us to the master sword. Wait, what? Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, be good. As E.T. said, be good. Yeah, good words. I also like Johnny Five, although he was just number 5 in the movie from Short Circuit. Bill, let's see, Newton Crosby, PhD, built Johnny Five, built all the robots. One of them comes to life after being hit by lightning, because lightning is magic. Given the spark of life by God, I guess. I don't know. And the robots are built as war machines. Now, Newton didn't want them to be that. He designed them to do, other things, but they put a big laser on them and made them war machines. And so he's like, the programming you have, he's talking to number 5, says, why didn't, your programming says to kill, why haven't you killed? Says, number 5 says, killing is wrong. Don't you know that? He says, yeah, of course I know that, but who told you? He says, I told me. So here you have a creation talking to its creator. Its creator programmed it to kill, but it knew the killing was wrong. It decided to go against its creator's desire, its programming, and to say, no, killing is wrong. Something profound about that, I think. All right. Keep on keeping on. Bye for now. Finn!